I am so grateful to have overcome devastating challenges over my lifetime. It's for this reason that I am passionate and obligated to share my faith, my hope, and my life. My faith is in God, my hope is in His promises, and my life is for this purpose. I am Yvonne Roundtree, and this is Everyday Matters.
Listen, the agent knows all the right things to say. The agent is the one who bringing you them flowers. The agent is the one who picks you up on time. The agent is the one who, when you take them out to dinner, they don't spend none of your money. And you say, do you need anything? She said, no. That's the agent, because once you get them, you're going to take all the money.
Yeah,
Okay, no, wait, even me.
These dudes, they do be gaming nowadays.
But no, it's not necessarily gaming. They just trying to make a good impression. I mean, even me, when I was dating my wife, I mean, anybody who really knows me know I don't like talking on the telephone. But when I was dating, I called my wife and said, hello. Yeah, baby, it's me. Oh, I just called to hear your voice. Girl, we had a real good time on that picnic, didn't we? Yeah, I told you I've been cooking. Hey, we still going to that movie tomorrow? Yeah, girl, I'm gonna pick you up. You know what? I really enjoy spending time with you, girl. You want me to say it? Really, you want me to say it? I think I love you, girl. Yeah, for real though. For real though, yeah, girl, I love you. Okay, listen, I'm gonna let you go so you get your beauty rest. Even though you don't need it. Because girl, you fine. No, you hang up. No, you hang up.
Ladies, are you expecting to be in a relationship where there's commitment, joy, and happiness? Well, we're talking to May Hickey today, and we're going to discuss waiting for Mr. Right.
And what got me so was God, the Lord, let me know then, you're living off your mother's prayers, you're living off the saints' prayers. You got to have a personal relationship with me for yourself. And from there, I made that commitment through prayer and faith. Okay, after making that commitment, I made my mind, I was going to live for God no matter what.
Okay.
Even going through school, you had, some of the kids would ridicule you. At that time, they called it sanctified.
Mm-hmm.
And you would have, like I say, kids ridicule, talk about your laugh.
Because
you're
you didn't do the
sanctified because
same
you didn't do the
things.
same things they did.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times I would go home and, being young like that, you quote, cry and talk to the Lord and stuff, but I never broke in front of them at school.
Mm-hmm.
I would go back to school, just like nothing happened, like I'm living this life, I don't care what nobody says, I'm going to live for God, And from there, I took it a little further. I'm like, being committed now, since you've committed yourself, what about daring to be different?
Daring to be different.
Daring to be different.
Wow.
My mom always taught us, growing up as kids, we would always say, Mama, they're doing this, why we can't do this? They're doing it, why we can't do that? And she would always say, you know what, you're not them. That's why you're not doing what they're going to do.
Okay, dare to be different.
Yes.
Like that.
And from there, that was a positive influence to let me know, I have to be my own self. I can't be influenced by anybody else, regardless of what people say. I am responsible to do what I know to do is right. And I can't allow anybody else to come in and force me to do something that I know was wrong.
Especially that you don't feel comfortable with. Because a lot of young people now, they do things that they're not even comfortable with doing. Just to appease other people
to fit in.
and to be a part of this crowd. Absolutely, and you were able to not allow yourself to feel that need.
Yes.
Was your family pretty close? You have other
Yes,
siblings?
I have 4 siblings, and all of us, grew up, and all of us are saved and love the Lord.
Okay. Wow.
And also another thing that I saw was, even in growing up, and living for God, is that you have to surround yourself with godly women of wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
A lot
That's
of times
important.
we can avoid certain things in life if we just listen.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things I didn't have to go through with. Don't get me wrong. In general, in life, you're going to go through some things.
Mm-hmm.
Some things that can't be avoided, but there are some things in life that you can avoid if you just listen.
Yes. And it's important that you say surrounding yourself with people of wisdom and of like minds, because then you can encourage each other. You can be strength for each other, because you don't need people around you that are telling you to do the opposite things that you want to do.
Yes.
Because naturally, you're putting yourself in a position to become vulnerable to that. So that's really smart. And you had your sisters and brothers.
Well, actually, sisters.
Your sisters. Mm-hmm.
And my mom.
You have all sisters?
All sisters. I have 4 sisters.
And no brothers?
No brothers.
Oh, okay. So all of you and your sisters, you stuck together. You were the friends for each other, and you supported each other in this. And so I would imagine, being as lovely as you are and going through high school, you had guys that, especially when they knew that you're different, that made you even more of an appeal to them, So how did you all handle that?
You know what? Even through going through high school, I never dated.
Okay,
Never dated.
you didn't date.
My first date was at the age of 29, and that was by choice. Because by that time, I knew who I was, and could nobody make me think anything different.
So you spent your entire life, your entire adult life, for the most part. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
I've got to go home. Oh, come on, Carrie. We're going to a new place.
She wants to go home, right? Let's go.
Whoa! You okay to drive?
Yeah, I'm fine.
You sure? Relax.
What's a few beers?
If you don't stop your friend from drinking and driving, you're as good as dead. Drinking and driving can kill a friendship.
Looks like rain again today. Dark clouds gather and fill the sky. Don't know how to talk to you, just know how to say goodbye.
I don't think something to say like that, George. Go back where you came from. Go back where you came from. What's wrong with you,
So you spent most of your adult life getting to know yourself, getting to know who you were.
Yes.
And that's important as well. That's something that we don't see happening with our young people, because they get involved with other people intimately so fast, they never get to know who they are, because they're influenced by the people that they connect with emotionally and physically. And so you got this knowledge to do this all from the relationship that you had with God and with your family.
Yes.
What influence did your father have over you and your sisters?
No, my father wasn't saved.
He was not saved?
My father was not saved, but
Wow.
he and my mom was always together and raising us.
Wow.
If she said something, you couldn't go to him and ask for something different because he's going to say, what did she say?
Yes.
And vice versa. So they stuck together on their decisions.
Now that's very important, that he had enough respect for her and her relationship with God, her values really, because I always say that whether a person believes in God or not is just a matter of values. So we're just going to speak simply values here. These were your mother's values, and your father accepted her values.
Yes.
And these values influenced you to the point where you grew up and was able to keep yourself until you married your husband.
Yes.
At 40. And you know, as far as the whole family dynamics, that's a really profound thing, like I said, because your mother and father didn't necessarily have the same values, but the one thing that they had is respect. And that's what we have to have in marriage.
Yes.
That's what we have to have in marriage when we have children to raise, because if one parent has different values than the other and they don't come together to work together and respect each other's values or the right values, because I believe that just because your father was not a Christian man, he knew right from wrong.
Yes.
He did what was best for you all,
Yes.
because he knew that if you all connected yourselves to the wrong things, that's going to bring grief on you.
Exactly.
And that's what he was trying to avoid. So that's just, I mean, he was just a man of wisdom.
Yes.
That was just wisdom.
And I was about to bring up respect too. Another thing, respect. Respect yourself and love who you are.
Love who you are.
Love who you are. Be in love with yourself.
First. Yes. Before you can love someone.
Get to know yourself before you branch out with somebody else. My mom, she would always tell us, know what you could do for yourself and by yourself before you get connected with somebody else. And when that person comes along, they will just only enhance what you already have.
Wow. She was certainly a woman of enormous wisdom. And it's just a great thing that you did have the mind, you and your sisters had the mind to acknowledge your mother's wisdom, because a lot of young people nowadays, they don't acknowledge their own parents' wisdom for whatever reason or not. They lose respect, and I take ownership to that, because sometimes as parents and as adults, we do things to lose the respect of our youth. And then once we lose that respect, then we don't have their attention any longer. They feel that everything that you do is not to be acknowledged. And so we really have to pray that we model the right behavior in front of our young people so that we can gain their respect. Even in ourselves, that we learn to discipline ourselves in a way that we can model that behavior, because first we have to have it to model it. So that's my prayer. And I really thank you for sharing with us. What would you say to parents in addition to what your parents gave you that we can give to our youth?
What I would say to parents, I would say be an example. Don't say do as I say, but let them see you do what you're telling them to do. Be an example, positive example, because that goes a long way.
Yes.
Kids will, when they see you doing certain things, they are most likely they're going to follow, because you are an example.
Yes.
So if you're going to be an example, be a positive example.
Yes. We have intelligent youth these days, and they feel like if it is the right thing to do, then why aren't you doing it?
Exactly.
You know. And a lot of times, if they don't understand the mistakes that we have made because we have not shared that with them, then they don't understand why you did certain things then, and now you're saying something different now. They think it's because, oh, you don't want us to have a good time like you had a good time, you know. And so we have to also be transparent to an extent as well, when they're old enough to understand certain things, because we don't want to seem hypocritical, you know. Like you said, the old saying, do as I say and not as I do. You know, that's not going to work with this generation. It didn't work with my generation. You know, and that was one of the issues that I had, is the lack of respect for people around me who were my elders. Now, you have gotten through high school, you've gotten through all of those formative years. How did you meet your husband?
Okay, before I tell you that, I must say that I've dated 3 guys before, long before my husband came along.
Okay.
And all 3 guys that I dated, they've either come back or called me and say, you know what, you are different than any young lady I've ever dated. Remain the way you are.
Wow.
So that lets me know that something
You're doing
was
something
going
right.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
And even though that they tried to sleep with you?
You know, I had one guy to tell, you know, to mention that to me, but like I said, I had made up in my mind, you know what, it's not worth it.
Just one. And
Yes.
so therefore, they respected your position from the very beginning.
Exactly. Because actually what I did, I try to be upfront with young guys, you know, the guys that I dated, you know, I would let them know, you know, if your plan, if marriage is not in your view, well, you know,
I'm not
the right one for you.
Yes.
If marriage is not in your view, I'm not the right one for you.
And that's a very good way to put it as well, because a lot of times women and men, young and older, are afraid to say what they really want.
Yes.
You know, and that's why they wind up not getting what they really want. If you don't say that you want a commitment, you won't get a commitment. And they're afraid that if they say they want a commitment, that the person will leave, but then what difference does it make? We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys are much too much. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We're going to beat them and bust them. Beat them.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Let's take a little bit rowdy. R-O-W-D-Y.
Take time to be a dad
One more
today.
time. Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys.
To be a good father is the most important job in a man's life, but it doesn't have to be hard. Play catch. Go to a park or visit a zoo. Help your child with their homework. Sit down together for dinner. Ask them how their day was. Things get busy, and sometimes we all fall short. But the smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
I will knock you into next week. Stop. Get me! I'm done!
This is embarrassing.
That's it! We're leaving.
Stop it.
Get on. Susanna, we're leaving. Keep your mouth shut.
Domestic violence is not patient.
You expect me to eat this slop? There, how about that?
Domestic violence is not kind.
What'd you say?
Do you think you could try to make yourself look halfway decent?
Domestic violence demands its own way.
If I ever see you with those women again, I won't just twist your arm, I'll break it.
Is this how you want to love your family? Love is a choice. Call now and choose to change.
Okay, how I met my husband. Well, I was just minding my own business. I was busy.
Like you
Like I had been.
Yes.
Working at a hospital, registering patients, and about 8 o'clock at night, he comes to my window and asks me, you know, was I married? And he, you know, asking a lot of questions. By that time, I'm asking, like, who are you?
Mm-hmm.
So he gives me his home number, his cell number. I'm the type of young lady, I wouldn't call, you know, guys that quick.
Mm-hmm.
So he asked for my number, and I started to not give him my number, but the Spirit of the Lord said, don't turn me away. I wrote down my first name and my home number. And I guess by the time I got home, I guess he had called about 3 times. I guess to see if I was really who I said I was, because it was May 19th when we met, and my name.
And so your name was May.
Was May. So I guess he was trying to, you know, to see if I was who I said I was. But anyway, every day he would call me, and I would call him back. He'd call me, and I'd call him back. I'm like, this guy, you know, he's very serious. You know, he would tell me he's going to do something, and I'm like, just going to see if he's going to do what he, you know, said he's going to do. And, you know, a lot of times, there's some guys, sometimes they would, you know, ask women for money and stuff, you know, if they're going to purchase something. And he went to get his first car, and he's going to see if he's going to be okay, you know, what's going to go with this. And he didn't ask me for any money, had his down payment.
Wow.
And I'm like, this guy is really serious. He's really serious about what he wants, you know. So we dated for.
So you dated for?
We dated for a year, and we had these little agreements set up about, you know, we're gonna remain pure, you know, until we get married. We
so
signed
you talked about that.
Yes, we did.
So he was also keeping himself.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
And that's important as well.
Exactly.
He had his standards.
So we made the little agreement, and in July of 2003, that's when we got married.
So you dated for
We dated for a year. We met in 2002 and got married in 2003.
Okay.
We had been dating for 2 months, and he proposed on July 12th of 2001. We met July. We met May 19th, 2002. Excuse me. He proposed June the 12th, 2002, and we got married July 19th, 2003.
Wow. And that's just beautiful. Stay with us. We'll be right back. And I know, just based upon my experience, I was a born-again virgin. It was just a wonderful experience, because when Virgil and I got married, you know, we too had kept ourselves until marriage, and it was just the most beautiful thing that we could have experienced. And there's just nothing like it. It's just nothing like accepting each other for the very first time after you have made a commitment. There's no concern as to what's going to happen with this relationship. You know that this is your life partner. And so you're just very open and free, and there's no inhibitions there. And you know, it was something that we really had looked forward to. I don't know if you all did, but we used to talk about that honeymoon, you know, what was going to happen, you know, how we both were kind of nervous, and you know, it was just funny, because I've been married before, and so has he, and so it was just kind of funny when we talked about it, because you know, when I would say, you know, I'm kind of nervous about it, he was like, well, me too. And I'm like, well, and it just seemed really awkward, but it was such a beautiful experience that we wanted everyone to have that experience. And May coming from a perspective of a first time, and me coming from a perspective of not a first time, but starting over again, that anyone could do this. It's just a matter of making a choice, deciding that your yesterday is not going to be the same as your tomorrow. Every day does matter. And we thank you for being with us, and we'll see you next time. Okay, May, say something. What would you say to women who are waiting to get married, or, I don't know, let the Lord lead you?
I would tell them, don't lose hope, you know, trust God and wait on Him. Get busy and be hidden so you can be found.
Wow. Wow. That's great. That is awesome. Just wait, get busy, be hidden so you can be found. And that's something that I would say to some of my friends that would always ask me, the question always was, would you ever get married again? Would you ever get married again? And I would say yes. And I just, at the time, I couldn't really imagine it, but I would just say yes because I just felt like I wasn't going to let the devil rob me of having a happy and healthy marriage because I was divorced. And I would say that, and I would tell them that the right man, when he came along, he would know what to say, because my friends would tease me like, I don't know how a man can approach you because you just, unapproachable. And I said, well, he will know the right thing to say. And that's exactly what happened. My husband had a relationship with God, and through that relationship with God, God gave him what to say to me. Just like with May, when you said that you usually didn't give your number out, and the Holy Spirit spoke to you and said, this time it's okay. So, thank you, May, and continue to give your testimony. It is truly a blessing.
A few days.
Lena, I don't appreciate you putting all my business out live on TV.
See, that's what I'm talking about. We tend to get into relationship with people based on feelings of euphoria, emotions. We don't take the time to get to know the real person.
Dr. Hill, can you bring it down, please?
I can't help it if y'all didn't finish high school. Let me make it plain. Y'all don't really get to know people before you start hitting the sheets. Some of y'all wake up with people you don't even know. Some of y'all sleeping with the enemy. Is that real enough for you? Would nobody want to be with you? But now, y'all young people get all on TV. When I have my outbreak, I don't let it stop me. I just take vial tracks. Number 5, you got to know their belief system. Okay? What they believe in helps shape their system and how they operate. And if you are a Christian, okay, I'm going to leave that alone because I ain't got no back door. But if you are a Christian, let me say this. You are supposed to affect people, not let them infect you. I'm just saying. Number 6 said you need to know if they got any plans or goals. What are they going to try to do with themselves? Do they have any goals? Do they have any plans? Big question is, do those plans include you? Listen, we got to get to know people, and we got to get to know their families so we have a good understanding of who they are. You need to know people's families so that you can understand that if you come from different perceptions, if you have different perspectives or different perceptions, you need to know that they're coming from that particular family.
You know what, that sounds a lot like me and Percy. I never got a chance to get to know him or his family before marrying.
You have a baby. These 6 things you need to do. Number 1, meet the family. My boy Sly and the Family Stone said, it's a family affair. Look, I'm going to give you a hint. The way they interact with their family is a good indication of how they're going to interact with you. If their mama crazy, and their daddy talk to himself, and the sister is on Ritalin and other psychotropics, and a little short yellow school bus come pick up the little brother, chances are, I'm just saying. Now number 2 said you got to know where they get their money from.